Which players do I want to keep for next season in the Premier League? Now, next season it's going to be one of our most important seasons in our club history, probably one of the hardest seasons as well. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you which players I would keep, which players I would let go, which players I'll send out on loan as well. So sit tight, enjoy the video. I do these types of videos every single season when the season has finished, and you guys really enjoy them, so hopefully you enjoyed this one. Thank you to Danny, one of my subscribers, for making this tier maker list. And yeah, let's get on with the video and let's see which players I think we should keep and which players I think we should let go before the season starts in the Premier League. So the first player which we are going to talk about is Ethan Horvath. Now, Ethan had a very average, I think, championship season. I think, yes, he kept a lot of clean sheets, but he had a really good defence in front of him, and I honestly do believe that he has a mistake in him. Would I keep him 100%? Not really. However, if it's an option which we can only go for, then okay, then yeah, I don't mind to keep him. But I feel like we can get better goalkeepers out there. There's no like disrespect towards Ethan at all. I do think we can get a better goalkeeper out there. We do need to recruit a goalkeeper, in my opinion. So for Ethan, I would let his contract expire and let him go after his loan deal. But if we can bring him back, and he's pretty much the only you know option which is within our costs, then yeah, okay, let's bring Ethan back into the club because he knows the club. But I wouldn't think he's a #1 priority, and I do think there could potentially be better goalkeepers out there within the money which we are looking for. So that's just my opinion. Next player which we have is Harry Isted. I'm going to sell Harry Isted. He needs to play regular first team football. He had a loan spell at Barnsley and he done extremely well. He was pretty much man of the match in the playoff final against Sheffield Wednesday, which unfortunately they did end up losing, but he made some fantastic saves. He needs to go out and play first team football. He isn't going to play first team football in the Premier League, in my opinion, and he's sat on our bench for plenty of seasons now over the years. I don't think he deserves to keep sitting on the bench even more. So for me, let Harry go and play football. He deserves the opportunity, and yeah, hopefully he has a very successful career. He's 26 and he hasn't played over 100 games in like men's football, I believe. So yeah, let him play football. Next up we have is Shea. We are obviously going to keep Shea. Shea's been at the club for so many years now, and he's a great ambassador for the club as well. The players really get on with him as well, and he's very, you know, he's a team leader, I would like to say. So I would like to keep Shea, and we're going to need team leaders throughout the Premier League season. I want a new goalkeeper which we haven't seen yet is Walton. Yes, I would keep him. We haven't seen him yet. We're going to need 3 goalkeepers in the Premier League. So yeah, I would keep Walton. Next up we have is Amari Bell. Yes, I would keep Amari Bell. He's had a fantastic season since moving into that left-sided centre-back role. I prefer him as a left-sided centre-back than I do as a left wing-back, in my personal opinion. I think as a left wing-back, I expect a lot more from him, you know, attacking contributions-wise. But for me, he doesn't really do it. But because he's really good with the ball at his feet, as a centre-half, that can like come quite in handy, and he has a bit of pace about him as well. So yes, I would keep him and let him play in that back 3. Next up we have is Sonny Bradley. It's already been confirmed that Sonny Bradley is going to be leaving Luton at the end of the season. So yes, we wish Bradley all the best. He's won 2 promotions at Luton, League 1 to Championship, Championship to Premier League. He's been a good captain in my opinion, and he deserves the opportunity wherever he goes next. Don't think he's a Premier League defender, so, and I think the legs in the Championship is really struggling for him. So I think it's time for him maybe to go to League 1, League 2, or maybe a bottom half Championship side and have a really successful you know, end of his career, because he is now approaching the latter point of his career. Next up we have is Reece Burke. Obviously we are going to keep Reece Burke. I thought Reece Burke had a disappointing season last year in the Championship. I think constant injuries didn't really help him. However, his performance in the playoff final was outstanding, and the season before that he was extremely good as well. So yes, we are keeping Reece Burke. Next up we have is Alfie Doherty. I am going to keep Alfie. Alfie's, for me, is really good. He's one of the surprise package of the season. I think his technical ability is really good. He just needs to add a little bit of consistency to his game. If he adds that, he can be a really good Premier League player. But I definitely think he has Premier League qualities within him. So yes, we are keeping Alfie Doherty. Next up we have is on loan signing Cody Drama. I would like to keep him. He's young. He's got so much potential there. He's had a fantastic loan spell in the 6 months which he was at the club for. His performance in the playoff final was outstanding. There's definitely a few weaknesses there which we can work on with him, but you know, I feel like Premier League football is a good pulling factor for him. However, Leeds United, I think, will offer him first team football next year in the Championship, so it could be a difficult you know, negotiations there in trying to bring him in, but I definitely would keep him at the club. Next up, obviously, player of the season. Well, yeah, player of the season, Tom Lockyer. I don't think I need to explain why we need to keep Tom Lockyer. What a season he has had. Gabe Osho, I would also keep. Gabe is still at that age where he can still develop a lot as well. I thought under Rob Edwards he has been absolutely fantastic. I think under Nathan he was not the best, in my opinion, but when Rob Edwards has come in, he's obviously gave him a bit of confidence. They're saying that his passing ability is one of his biggest strengths, and you're going to need to be able to pass really well in the Premier League. So yes, I want to keep Gabe Osho, and I also love the goal against Watford as well. So yeah, I do want to keep him at the club. Next up we have is Dan Potts. I would actually keep Dan Potts. I'm not Dan Potts' biggest fan, but the reason why I would keep Dan Potts is because of him being a team leader. You need players that have a good, you know, connection amongst the group, a good atmosphere amongst the group. I think Dan Potts has been there when he hasn't been in the team, and he's still been a really good focal point leader. So yeah, I would keep Dan Potts in the Premier League. Next up we have is Luke Berry. Yes, I would also keep Luke Berry. I believe Luke Berry is also out of contract at the club. I want to keep Luke Berry because I feel like his intelligence off the ball is fantastic. He's also, his late runs into the box helps us massively. So, and his goal record for Luton in the last couple of seasons has been brilliant, despite not being fit throughout the whole season. But maybe in the Premier League, you know, 1 game a week instead of 2 games a week could go in his favour a little bit, and he'd be able to see him at much more going forward. I do like Luke Berry. He gets Luton, been with us since League 2. So yes, I would also keep Luke Berry as well. I would also keep Alan Campbell. Alan Campbell, for me, although he wasn't Edwards' probably favourite player in the latter stages of the season, I still think he has a role to play and can still contribute. He's high pressing. We just need to figure out what his best role is. I don't think it is further forward. I think it is actually much deeper. But we'll have to let Rob Edwards and the coaching team decide that. But yes, I would also keep Alan Campbell. Clark, yes, I would also keep Clark. Clark, for me, best free signing in English football. I do think he can actually step up to play in the Premier League myself. I think his technical ability is good, his passing, his dribbling, he's a ball playing midfielder. I think that's really crucial in the Premier League, having those types of players within the team that can be able to produce stuff like that. So yes, I would also keep Clark. Scored in the playoff final as well, will go down in history. Yes, Clark is staying, and he's also signed a long-term contract as well. So I think the plan is to keep Clark for a few more years at least. Freeman, I would let him go. I was quite disappointed with Freeman when we first, well, throughout the season really. Nathan Jones played him quite often. He got injured a few times throughout the season, but I didn't really see anything special from him. There's a player there that definitely has quality, but I feel like his best years have gone, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I would let him just go. I feel like we can probably get another player there who could do pretty much the same job as what he can do, but maybe twice as good. So yeah, I would let Freeman go. Lansbury, I would also let go, which is a shame because I do like Lansbury a lot. However, constant injuries throughout his spell at Luton. I thought in the first half of the season he was absolutely outstanding. He kicks who he wants, but I feel like he ain't going to play. I really do. I don't think he played much under Edwards, so I can see us just letting him go. I think his contract is expired at the end of the season as well. So yeah, I would let him go and let him play regular first team football elsewhere. Nakamba, is there a reason to actually say why we would keep him? One of the best defensive midfielders in the Championship. I think we only lost twice with him starting a game from January to the end of the season. What a player he is. Hopefully Aston Villa will let him come to us on a good deal, and yeah, we can keep singing the Nakamba song for next season in the Premier League. Fred Onyedinma, yes, I would keep him. I think Fred's been really unlucky with injuries since being at Luton. He's been a really good player when he does play. He's quick, he's energetic. He can play both full-back roles. He can play as a winger as well. I would keep Fred. For me, Fred is very dangerous on his day. Yeah, so that's why I would keep Fred. We just need him to kind of stay fit and yeah, just get more game time in. I think this Premier League season is going to help us in terms of injuries, because I don't think we're going to get as constant injuries as we have been. I think players can play week in, week out, and they have a week rest as well. I think the week rest will go in our favour 100%. Next up we have is Dion Pereira. I would actually sell him if his contract's out in the summer, let him go. But yeah, Dion Pereira I think needs to go. He went out on loan to Bradford. I think he had injury problems throughout the season. I don't think his loan spell at Bradford was amazing in League 2. Is he going to ever play it for us in the Premier League? No, I just think it's time to let him go. He had bags of potential, but unfortunately we've just not. I don't think we're ever going to see it in a Luton shirt, unfortunately. Next up we have is Glenn Ray. I think his contract is expiring at the end of the season, so I would just let Glenn Ray go. Fantastic servant since being at Luton, but obviously 2 major injuries in his career has happened. I feel like now it's probably time to let him go and play regular first team football. Cheltenham absolutely loved him in League 1. He's amazing in League 1, and I thought he was good in the Championship, but I think injuries just got to him a little bit. So yeah, I think him going to a League 1 club is probably going to happen in the summer. Next up we have the legend himself, Paddy Ruddock. Of course he is staying. This man is going to play in the Premier League and he's going to score in the Premier League as well. Next up we have is Thorpe. I would let Thorpe go out on loan. He did feature the odd time last season in the second half of the season. He went out on loan to Burton Albion, but they never really played him, which was quite frustrating. But I think he needs to go out and play regular first team football. Same with Louis Watson as well. He needs a loan deal. Let him play regular first team football. I can't see these players getting played in the Premier League, in my personal opinion. So yeah, I would let the youngsters especially go out and get a loan deal. Elijah Adebayo, of course we will keep. The partnership between Morris and Elijah has been absolutely brilliant in my opinion, and I do think they can work together as a team. We're going to need their physical presence up top next year against Premier League defenders, so yes, of course I'm keeping you Magic, you know, Elijah Adebayo. Next up we have is Jamie McAtee. McAtee for me, I would send out on loan. I didn't like the fact that McAtee went on holiday and he didn't celebrate with his obviously new team at winning promotion to the Premier League. I just didn't agree with that. Maybe he already booked it, I'm not too sure, whatever. I just felt he should have been at Wembley with his new club. I'm not too sure with McAtee. I heard a few things at the latter point of his loan spell at Grimsby. His attitude wasn't good enough. But this is what I'm hearing from their supporters, not from myself. But I can't see him playing first team in the Premier League. I feel like he will go out on loan. I can see like a Wrexham bringing him in, like a top, you know, League 2 or League 1 side going in for him. He's more than capable of playing League 2 level. I think he's proven that at Grimsby. But I feel like now the next step is, right, can you play League 1? Can you win at something? Can you do something really special? Get 20 goal contributions in a season and see how he progress? Or he may get a championship move, I'm not too sure. But it'd be worth keeping an eye out on him. I don't think he'll play straight away. I do think he'll have another loan spell. Carlos Mendes Gomez. I want to keep him. I really do, because I really didn't enjoy watching him play. But he had a League 1 spell at Fleetwood, had done really well. I think he needs to play more football. Do I think he'll get into the Luton side? I don't know. That's up to Rob Edwards to decide. But I feel like he's going to get another loan move. I really do. And then depending on how well he does on that loan move will determine if he will play for Luton the following year, in my opinion. Obviously, the next one is Colton Morris. Of course, he's going to be staying. Obviously, we're going to keep him. 20 goals in the season. He's the complete striker. He only needs one opportunity to score. We need someone like him. Musgrave. Sell. He's just been a really disappointing signing since we brought him in. His first season at Luton, we tried, well, when we were playing him, he just didn't look like, he looked like a player that didn't have any confidence within himself. So yeah, I would let him go. Second spell, he went out on loan for Fleetwood. We recalled him back, but I don't think he did anything special at Fleetwood, and that was in League 1. So I think it's probably time to let him go, really. I don't think he's ready for that step up. Josh, our academy prospect, I think we need to just let him go. I can't see him playing in the first team for Luton. His last loan spell was at Sutton. I think Sutton fans really enjoyed him throughout the season. And I think he just needs to go out and play regular first team football, you know. I think these young lads, there's no point sitting in the bench, sitting in the development squad. Just go out and let them play football, really. Next up is Pebble. He had a really disappointing loan spell at Grimsby. And Grimsby were like, yeah, you need to take him back. So he needs to either get loaned out again and find some confidence, or be sold. Because, yeah, okay, he was a hot prospect from Canada, but I haven't seen anything special yet from him. Taylor, I would actually, well, I just can't see him playing football, really. He's going to be a really surprise package if he does, you know, stay within the team. But I would let him go out on loan and play regular first team football. He's young. I think it kind of makes sense. But yeah, that does mean we need to bring in a few attacking players in. But I think it makes sense to get him to play regular first team football. And then next up we have is Corley Woodrow. Obviously, Luton boy. We need to keep him. Injuries let him down a little bit. That's why he wasn't able to feature as much as he would have liked to. But I do think he has technical ability there to cause a few problems in the Premier League. So if we look at this now, obviously if we exclude Nakamba and Cody because they are not our players yet, we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 players at this moment in time that are Luton Town players, in my opinion. So that does mean we need to recruit a few players in. I do think we will sign 8 or 9 players, which I wouldn't think is unrealistic at all. And if we sign 8 to 9 players, you're looking at a squad of 24, 25, which is more than enough for the Premier League. So yeah, I think that's a good decision to make. We may make even more signings than that, but I think that's what could potentially happen in this summer, which is going to be the biggest summer recruitment in Luton Town's history, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I would go with. Let me know what you would go with down in the comment section of the video. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next video.